What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Diz TV. If this is your first time here, welcome home. We're so glad to have you. And let's take a look at the next 3 episodes of WandaVision. So today I'm going to be talking about episodes 4, 5, and 6. There's a lot to cover with this. There is so much that's going on in these episodes. It's ridiculous. And if you're wondering, I still know absolutely nothing. Kicking things off with episode 4, as we weren't really focusing on the TV show aspect specifically, like Wanda and Vision and their life. It was more focused on, of course, outside of the world. That is Westview. We get to see the blip from a different point of view, the chaos that's in the hospital. We find out that Monica Rambeau's mother, I forget her name, she passed away within those 5 years. There's a lot of shocks, a lot of culture shock in a sense for all the people who came back from the blip. We see Monica Rambeau go back to work at s.w.o.r.d. We see some of the people she was working with, and she's tasked on a missing persons case. She meets up with Jimmy Woo. So great. He does perform his little magic trick too, which I found awesome. But he was from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and he's talking to Monica how it's actually a town that has been missing. Monica gets close to the edge and gets sucked in, and that's how she enters the world of Westview. We get to see Darcy Lewis again. Great seeing her. And we get kind of a recap of the last couple episodes of what's going on from the outside world, if that makes sense. And they're all prepared to do whatever it is to figure out what the heck's going on. And at the end of the episode, we do see Monica reunites with all the s.w.o.r.d. people, and yeah, it's a solid episode. Moving on to episode 5, this is probably my favorite episode of the series thus far. We've entered into, I believe, the 80s era, which is quite great. And we see Wanda and Vision trying to take care of Tommy and Billy, which is really cool. And we see them go from babies to then 5-year-olds to then 10-year-olds in a span of 10 minutes. Maybe less than that, maybe 5 minutes. But it's crazy, you know? But it really is a good episode. We get to see Agnes in this episode again, and she's trying to help out, and the boys find a dog. They name it Sparky. But Vision goes to work, and Vision is trying to figure out what the heck is going on. He's trying to figure out what is outside of Westview. He's confused. And so he taps into the mind of Norm, and he's terrified. You know, he's please help us. She is this and that. And Vision realizes he's talking about Wanda. So later in the episode, they two butt heads a little bit, and you know, that whole confrontation is really good. Very intense scene that's broken up by a certain doorbell, which I'll talk about in a second. The boys, of course, are trying to take care of Sparky. Something startles them, and they lose the dog, when in fact it actually is the drone that they sent in there actually to kill Wanda. And Monica and Wu and Lewis didn't know about it. And Wanda comes outside the gates of Westview, and she is pissed. She's mad. And she has her Sokovian accent, which is awesome. So it does mean that there was a reason why her accent went away. She just wants to be left alone, is really what it is. And Monica is trying to reason with her. Director Hayward, who is the big leader of s.w.o.r.d. at the moment, doesn't want to reason with her. So hence why he sent the missile. She comes back, they find Sparky a little bit later, and Sparky died. Tommy and Billy are saying, hey, can you bring him back from the dead? And she's trying to explain, no, some things can't come back from the dead. Which does set up a key moment later, at the end of the episode. We have the confrontation between Wanda and Vision, and it looks like they're about to fight. But they they don't. Wanda's saying, I don't control everything, and then there's a door knock, and like Vision's just like, dude, you summon that too? And she's like, I didn't. She goes to the door, wipes the tears from her eyes, opens it up. It's Pietro Maximoff. But it's not the Quicksilver from Avengers. It is Evan Peters, who played Quicksilver in the X-Men movies. But let's move on to episode number 6, because holy cow, this is another good one. This one is the long-awaited Halloween episode, the one I've been wanting to see for a little bit. Pietro's, he's just having fun with the kids, but at the same time, he knows what's going on outside of the world. He has a specific role, and he blatantly tells Wanda. But this really is a good episode. We actually get to see Billy and Tommy both dress up as their their actual comic counterparts. Tommy is, of course, Speed. Billy is Wiccan. And we do get to see them dress up in those costumes. And we also get to see the very, very comic-inspired costumes that they all wear, from Vision wearing to Wanda, and even Pietro is wearing his. But it's also really, really cool to see some of the confrontation that Wanda's having with Pietro, because she's trying to figure out what is he doing here? This is not the Pietro I know. So Vision is out. He is doing his safety patrol, which is he's exploring the rest of this little bubble that they have. And the further out he gets, the more things become stagnant. There's one lady that's just repeating this. Even further out, it's just nobody's moving. They're all standing still. They're all those creepy mannequins that you find at Target or something. Vision gets ready to explore outside the boundary. But before we get to that part, we do know that Monica and Jimmy and Darcy are all kicked off the team in a sense, because of their view on how they should handle the situation, specifically S.w.o.r.d. So yeah, as they do that, Vision pops through, but he's breaking off, as he's trying to go through, pieces of vibranium's breaking off. He's alive, which is weird. And to backtrack a little, this episode is also really, really cool, because we do get to see Tommy and Billy develop their powers. Of course, we get to see Tommy get to the little speed thing, especially after, certain Pietro decided to speed with them to steal all the candy, smash all the pumpkins, cause mayhem. We do get to see Tommy develop speed, and Billy to develop his senses with his hearing, and he's hearing his dad in pain. And so he asks his mom to help, and she expands the thing. She ends up saving Vision's life, which is great. It actually takes a whole bunch of the S.w.o.r.d agents with her, Director Hayward and all of them were the only ones who were able to survive. I find it hilarious, though, that she put it all as, the circus. They're all clowns and stuff. We see Monica and Jimmy Woo is, just shocked of, whoa, what the heck is going on? Hayward's crying out just to see if anyone's available. Darcy gets sucked in. There's a whole bunch that's going on. So if I had to rank the episodes from best to worst, starting it off with 5, and then we have 6, and then we have 4. That would be the order that it goes in. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe down below and hit the bell to be notified for more videos on Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, the parks, and so much more. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a marvelous day. Goodbye.